Exhaust fan for a restaurant. This right here is an upblast exhaust fan, and it's used to pull the vapors, the oil-laden, grease-laden vapors out of the actual kitchen so that it doesn't get extremely hot. Today I'm going to be showing you the design of this exhaust fan, talking about what type of problems you can run into. And if you guys like this video, hit the like button. Definitely hit the subscribe. I'm Tad. You're watching Tips for Technicians. And let's get started by showing you how this thing is made, designed. What we're doing today is changing a motor, and this is a belt drive motor. It's not a direct drive motor, it's a belt driven motor. Now let's take a look here. So this right here is sitting on a box. This is the actual curb, and usually a kitchen in a restaurant has one at least, but sometimes they have about two of these. In this case, we do have two of them. We've got to tighten that one over there because it's squeaking a little bit. This right here is definitely bad, and this belt drive motor, the reason you know it's bad is because, listen, oh yeah, you hear that? Sounds terrible when you turn it on. It's squealing and making all kinds of noise. But today we've got a replacement for this, and it's right here. Now the tools that you're going to need is definitely going to be an Allen wrench, because how else are you going to get the adjustable pulley off? You're going to have an Allen wrench here. And you've also got a keyway inside. This right here is what you're going to use to take that off. And I'm also going to probably get a new belt. I'll need a new belt for this. But you're going to have a meter. You're going to have to make sure the power's shut off. I've got a 9/16 socket connected to my bit, my adapter to go to my drill, because I like to work fast. I don't want this to take me all day. I've got a pair of channel locks. Now, this right here is the little bell. Let's take a look at the cover. This is the cover here. You see this cover? This fits on top of the motor, you see? And that's what covers it and keeps the rain from coming down on this thing. And there's clips all the way around. Now, this thing's pretty dirty, but that right there is the clip. And there's 3 of those clips that hold that top little bell piece on top of the motor. Now, let's take a look here. You got these little chains here, and this right here will actually come up, and this leads down to the grill of the kitchen. So you can see that it's been pulling a lot of grease-laden, oily greasiness coming up through here. Look at that. And that right there is the wheel with the blades. See that? See that pulley right there? Let's see, hold on. Let's bring this back down. This shaft right here that connects to this non-adjustable pulley is what connects to that wheel down there. Got a couple bearings here, 1, 2. Need to make sure that we don't have any squeaking there, anything loose. And what we're going to do is we're going to take these 4 bolts right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 loose. We're going to take this pulley off, and then we're going to take the power loose. Okay, this right here is the incoming power. And the way I check power, a very easy way, is I've got an SC440 meter. Check this out. I just push it to where it says, get out of the way. All right, where it says NCV. See that? NCV. It says EF. And then I can just put my meter up there like this. It'll beep if there's power. There's no power. Now that's the lazy way, right? But it works, and I like it. Now today's point of the video is to basically tell you that this is the way that you access the motor for the exhaust fan. You definitely got to make sure that your belts are tight. If they're not, you can merely just take these 4 screws and loosen them, and then push the motor back a little bit, and that way you'll tighten this back up. You definitely need to make sure it's tight. That way it's pulling the fumes away from the kitchen grill. If this motor's not running, then it's going to be really hot. The owner of the restaurant told me that with this not running, he said it was 110 degrees in there. So you guys got to make sure that you pull this off, you check the motor, make sure it's good, make sure it's turning, don't stick your hand in the blade, be safe. I don't want you guys getting hurt. Common problems: you can find a loose belt, you can find a burnt motor. These things need to be serviced and cleaned regularly. They need maintenance, and if they don't have maintenance, then you get a lot of buildup, especially on these blades. Check this out. Let's get a, see that right there? That's the curb. And then this right here is the wheel. Isn't that amazing? See how that's made? Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys, just want to show you a video about an exhaust fan. Hopefully you learned something with this video. Let me take a look at this one. See this little clip here? Take that clip. All right. And then take this clip here. Okay. And this clip right here. Pull it down and just stick your hand underneath there. And then you can pull it up. Now this one right here was doing a little bit of squealing too. And looks like the belt is a little loose. You need to make sure you turn it, make sure there's no cuts in the belt. Otherwise you need to go to your nearest parts store, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, pick up a belt, okay? So guys, this is a little video about exhaust fans, upblast exhaust fans for restaurants. You need to make sure that they're working properly. You need fresh air and you need exhaust. Still watching the video, then I want to give you some more tips. Let's talk about these motors here. All right, so I got the motor off and it was actually 1/2 inch socket. It was not 9/16, it was 1/2 inch. See that right there? Now, I got the motor off. One thing I want to tell you is if you're unsure about the wiring, take a picture with your phone. Take a picture with your camera. That way you're not uncertain when it comes to wiring the new motor up, right? It's also labeled though. This is single phase, so L1, L2, and then you've got the ground screw right there. So you really can't mess that up, but it can be wired for 115 or 230, right? So you need to make sure that you check the voltage beforehand and know what you're going to wire it up for, because there's a couple configurations. Now I've got this a little adjustable pulley sheave off. You want to make sure that you got your keyway in, your new keyway, because that's what your little Allen screw is going to tighten up against to make sure this thing is secured on this motor shaft. Now when you get the motor out, you can actually just go up and down. There shouldn't be any movement, right? There is no movement with this motor, but with this one, there is some movement. Also sounds terrible. Want to give you guys a couple more tips and hope it helps you guys. So yeah, in the field, make sure that you check your wiring, you have all the necessary tools, and you put it all together safely. Safety first, or you'll be riding in a hearse. Yeah! New motor is on, looking beautiful. Now, make sure that this right here is lined up with that right there, okay? This can't be higher or lower than this non-adjustable pulley, okay? The adjustable pulley and the non-adjustable have to be the same exact height. Why? Because you're going to increase wear and tear. It's going to tear this thing up quickly if you're not careful and you don't make sure those are lined up. Also, I said something about high voltage, low voltage. There's a chart on the motor that shows you how to wire it, okay? So if it's 115, it would be the low voltage wiring chart. If it's 230 volt, it would be the high voltage wiring chart. It just depends on what motor voltage you're dealing with, whether it's 230 or 460. Some motors are 460, 230, some are 115, 230. Let's get this thing turned on. Let's make sure it's turned in the right direction, make sure it's working, make sure it's not burned up. What I'm gonna do while I'm changing out this motor is I'm gonna use a grease gun here with some grease, and I'm going to use this fitting right here, and I'm going to put it on the grease fitting or the grease nipple or the zert. That's called a zert fitting right there. And I've already greased this and this one right here by placing my grease gun connection on the zert fitting or the grease fitting, and then pumping this 3 or 4 times. That way my bearings are really well lubricated. I don't want to change the motor. I don't know when the last time this thing has been greased, but it needed it. Definitely needed it. So we're in good shape now. Let's put it back together. I had to bring you inside, give you a look here. This, of course, is what our exhaust fan is used for, to make sure that we don't have any excessive heat in the kitchen area. Right here's the hood, and the exhaust fan is up top, okay? Ready, aim, fire. Perfect. Nothing blew up. Great. That was the wrong switch. So here we go again. Ready, aim, fire. I heard something. All right, let's go check. Look at that motor turning. Looks like it needs some help. Now let's check out this new motor. Now for learning purposes only, I'm gonna have this lifted off of the curb for you so that you can see the blade underneath. And this is a brand new motor, so it ought to haul, baby. I got the power coming up here on. Got a little switch on the side. Here we go, baby. Rock and roll. Whoa! That's what I'm talking about. Woo! All right, let's go ahead and set her down. Just wanted to show you that. Let's get this thing set over in here. All right, now once you've turned your power on, you make sure that there is nothing inside, like bolts that you left in there. Make sure that you measure the amp draw, make sure it's not over amping, getting too hot. And most importantly, the most important tip that I have to show you guys at the end of the video. All right, I left the best tip for last. This is the last of the video, and this is the best tip that I can give you if you're working on exhaust fans like this. Don't wear your good clothes. That's right, I bought these gloves earlier and they're ruined. So yeah, I'll keep these in my secret little stash for only working on exhaust fans like this. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video.